René Descartes, born in 1596 in France, spent his early years in a Jesuit college at La Flèche from 1604 to 1612, where an interesting anecdote is told. Due to his exceptional intelligence, Descartes was allowed to arrive at school at 10 a.m. because he was not a morning person. This unique arrangement was made because the Jesuits recognized his abilities. After leaving the college in 1612, Descartes traveled across Europe and even participated in the 30 Years' War. In 1650, after visiting the court of Queen Christina of Sweden, he tragically died of pneumonia. Descartes' heart was buried in a Swedish cemetery, but later exhumed at France's request to have his remains returned. In the process, his skull was damaged. In the 17th century, skulls were often used for practical purposes, like candle holders or document holders. Descartes' skull became a powerful symbol of his philosophy, which is best encapsulated in the famous phrase cogito, ergo sum. I think, therefore I am. This concept links thinking directly to the head, signifying reason and intellect. Descartes' most influential work is his Discourse on the Method, published in 1637, where he set out to establish a method for scientific inquiry. He wanted to build a foundation for knowledge that could provide concrete solutions to human problems, such as sickness and the suffering of old age. The method he developed was based on 4 essential rules. The first rule was the criterion of evidence, which asserts that we should only accept ideas that are clear and distinct. The second rule was analysis, breaking down complex problems into smaller, more manageable parts, and solving each part individually. The third rule was synthesis. Once the parts are solved, they should be reassembled into the whole. The fourth rule was enumeration, ensuring that the process of analysis and synthesis has been thoroughly completed and verified. The first rule, evidence, is key to Descartes' method. He believed that only those ideas which appear clear and distinct in the mind should be accepted. However, he quickly realized that for this method to work, he had to find a firm foundation. He questioned the validity of our senses because they can often deceive us, like when a stick in water appears broken, even though it isn't. If our senses can be deceived, how can we trust our perception of reality? This led Descartes to introduce the concept of methodical doubt, where he doubted everything, even the basic assumptions of reality and knowledge. Everything, that is, except mathematics. Mathematical truths, he argued, are self-evident and immune to doubt, such as the fact that 2 + 2 = 4. But Descartes' doubt went even further. He proposed a hyperbolic doubt, where he imagined a malicious demon who could deceive us even about basic mathematical truths. Descartes, at the end, reached an important conclusion. The very act of doubting proves existence. We cannot doubt the fact that we are doubting. This led to his famous conclusion: cogito, ergo sum. I think, therefore I am. The act of thinking proves that we exist. From this foundation, Descartes argued that we are res cogitans, thinking substances, beings defined by their ability to think. Once Descartes had established the certainty of his own existence, he sought to prove the existence of an external reality. To avoid the possibility of being deceived by illusions, he argued that a benevolent God must exist. Descartes provided several arguments for God's existence. First, he claimed that we have an innate idea of God which could not have come from nature because nature itself does not contain perfection. Since we cannot create the idea of perfection, it must have been placed in us by a perfect, infinite being, God. His second argument was based on the idea that our awareness of our own finiteness leads us to the concept of infinity. If we were the creators of ourselves, Descartes argued, we would have given ourselves the perfections and infinite qualities that define the idea of God. His third argument was that perfection must entail existence, just as the sum of the angles in a triangle always equals 180 degrees. Perfection must necessarily exist.